Alright guys, I'm out again this morning on a new stretch of water. The water is 8 degrees, so it's a little cool, but hopefully it'll be alright. Should warm up as the day goes on. So yeah, this will be interesting. It's always fun exploring new water that you haven't fished before. Something that I really love. Nice slow seam out there. Looks pretty good. I'm out fishing with my mate John today. We've been staying a fair way up the river from here, but the water temperatures up there have been very cold, about 6 degrees Celsius. And although we've caught a few fish, it's been fairly tough going. Got a bunch of nice slow seams with bubble lines coming down here. Some really good looking water. So today we've driven around an hour downstream in the hope of finding slightly warmer water and some fish that might be willing to play the game. I'm Euro-nymphing today, and John is fishing a conventional dry dropper rig. I've read in a few trout books from overseas that there's a crucial temperature of around 10 degrees, above which many of the aquatic insects begin to hatch and the trout's metabolism and activity level rises. Because the water temp is just around this critical mark, we are hoping that as the sun gets on the water throughout the day, the temperature will rise and spur some more activity. Well, that's the theory anyway. Let's hope it works out that way. Yep. It's always a great feeling to get that first fish on the board. At least now we know that we're not wasting our time on a barren stretch of river. It's good to know as well that the fish are sitting in the kind of water we expected, in the softer water, just off the main flow near the top of the pool. Looks like a rainbow. Is he? Yeah, it's a rainbow. Nice. Right in the hard bit of his mouth. There we go. Nice little rainbow to start with. Lovely. Well, that's a good way to start. So the next thing now is to target the same type and speed of water and see if there's a repeatable pattern. Yep. Another one. What have we got? Little brownie this time. Okay, I think the fly's out. Yeah. Yep. On again. John, come down here, mate. They're stacked up. Come down here. Euro-nymphing is such a deadly technique. And one of the things that I've learnt as I do it more often is that the trout are never evenly distributed throughout the river. They tend to stack together in the prime water, while large sections of the river can hold very few fish if the water type is not right. So it really pays to narrow down the water that you target. Yep. There's a slightly better one. So I used to think if I caught a fish out of one piece of water, that I'd probably spooked all the other fish in that stretch, and I should move on and target a fresh piece of water. Well, I know now that that's just not the case, at least in water that's moving a bit. Perhaps in a very still pool or really skinny water it might be that way, but these days, if I catch a fish, then I hone in and try to target that water more to see if there's more fish in it. And often, there is. Nice, that's a slightly better rainbow. There he is. Nice rainbow. Yeah, mate, they're stacked up. I've got like 4 fish in 8 casts.
Why the hell is that? Fish must be right there. All of them.
Yeah, they're stacked up.
What's there in that?
In here. Yeah, I'm going to try on this current over here. Why don't you have a cast in this? I've got 2 browns and 2 rainbows. So there's a mixture of both. We often tend to fish with only one rig on a particular day, but it's always interesting to try a different technique through water that you've already fished. John is fishing a conventional dry dropper rig here, and that means he's targeting the higher part of the water column, whereas I've been fishing deeper with the Euro rig. Usually, if you wanted to break down this piece of water, you might fish the dry dropper first and then go deeper. But it doesn't really seem to matter here, as pretty soon John starts to get some takes too. Probably. Haha. Any good? Yeah. I'm going to try this little trench back here. You on? Nice. Any good?
Yeah, got it.
Good fish?
Pounder.
Yeah, nice. Rainbow or brown?
Same one that
Yep. Yep. Another rainbow.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's about a pound. Maybe. Yeah. Beautiful. Nice rainbow. All right. We'll work our way up a little bit. You getting takes? You getting many takes?
I've got 2 takes, one trap.
Yeah.
On that side, you go up
Okay. You're right. Yeah, but there's a soft seam on the outside there they might sit in. And I think this central seam they'll be fishing too. We fished our way to the top of the run, but this part just didn't seem to be holding the fish. I reckon that's to do with the water temperature. See, warmer water holds less dissolved oxygen. So in warm water, the trout tend to move into the faster, more oxygenated water, and their metabolism rises as well, up to the point where they become stressed. But in cold water, they seem to sit a little further back in the runs, where the water is deeper and slower. I think I just missed one. It's not overly deep, but I don't think that matters.
It looks like there's only 2 runs, that one and that one over there.
Yeah, we'll fish both of them, but we'll hit this close one first. Or else, if you like, you've got dry dropper. You want to do the near one, and I'll do the far one. Yeah. Get deeper. Yeah. It might make sense. I think this is a bit shallow at the back part of this. I might work over into that. Yeah, I can see the deeper part sort of starts up about parallel with you. Beautiful. Oh, had one. Yeah, little one. Dropped him. Wasn't big. Yep. Little guy. Yep. still got his palm marks. There he goes.
So he's right there in the shadows.
Yeah, on the far side seam there. But I'd say they'll be all through.
Gotcha.
Got him? Oh, good fish?
About a half together.
Yeah.
Right over there.
Yeah. Just in the deep part of the run.
I feel like gave it a bit of a but
Yeah. All right. What weight do you want?
oh, the
Like
ones that you were tying last night.
I reckon try one of these little orange ones.
Okay. Yeah.
Try a little orange tag.
Something with a bigger gape that I've got more than I have now. Fuck no. The gapes that I've got here are a
Try him.
Let's see.
This is a same pattern that I'm using, but it's got an orange tungsten on it.
Gotcha.
Just give it a try. Being winter, or getting into winter, maybe the orange might get them going. But I think this looks like the deeper part over here. Missed him?
He fucking grabbed that really quick and he went, you know what, for the hopper.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, fucking happy with that.
Oh, good stuff. Oh, that's interesting. Taking the dry, eh?
He's taking the draw, right?
Is he a good fish?
Small, like it's not down.
Yeah. Oh, had one. Yeah. Just didn't quite get a hook set on him. And he was in this seam just right upstream from me. Not in the main one. Oh, missed him. Noticed the little bug flying past here too. I didn't seem to see it at the time, but I think they're starting to get active now as the temperatures are rising with more sun on the water. Nice. There goes another bug too. Good one, mate. Yep. Oh! Flying fish. Yeah. Self-release. Oh, I missed him. I'm going to change up a bead size and just try and get down a little bit deeper. See if I pick up something.
Yep.
Nice. You can't always tell until you wade out there, but as we worked our way up, it became clearer that this pool didn't have the same depth up near the top that the last one had. I think that's probably why the class of fish from this run was smaller than the last pool. The water just wasn't as good. Yep. Yep, long distance release. They should call it fish flying, not fly fishing. Oh, that's a rock. Get off there, you bugger. That's a stick. Okay, well, I'm getting down. Oh, missed him. And there goes another bug. Don't seem to be really finding them in the main run. They're more on the softer edges. So it seems that while I was going deeper with the heavier bead, with all of these bugs about, maybe the fish were actually looking up. I might have done better to go lighter. John seemed to be getting quite a few takes in this run, so maybe fishing higher in the water column might have been the way to go. We seem to have only hit the small ones so far. I'm hoping there's a mother load of of bigger fish in here somewhere. It'll probably be like that other run where they're just in one little pocket. There was a nice looking bit of deeper, slower water on the far side that I was fishing. Oh, it might have been a take. No good?
I can't fish that far side because of the line.
Oh, it's too quick. Yeah. Yeah. We'll try this inside seam if you like. I'll fish the outside and you fish the inside of this one. Isn't it funny how that next run produced a bunch of good fish, and this one produced 6 inches. Yeah.
Basically just territorial, by age group.
Yeah, maybe. Although on Saturday on the Midder when I fished it, I pulled 7 fish out of one run, and the last one was a 4.5 pounder.
And the other ones?
Yeah, sort of half to 1.5. Okay. Yeah. There's another bug that I didn't see. Oh, might have been a take then. Looking back at this, I realise I really need to work on my powers of observation. Alright, yeah, I'll just hit the top of this and then, and we'll go move up. The soft bit of water right upstream from me here looked really good, but it didn't really have a lot of depth once I walked up into it and had a look. Still, it was definitely worth a fish, but I didn't get anything. Nice little pocket just in behind that tree in there. If I can get in there without getting in the tree. Good luck with that. Of course, the very next cast, I put it straight into the tree. I picked up a neat little trick though. The key is, don't pull it tight and bury the hook point into a branch. Instead, gently jiggle the rod tip with a tiny bit of slack, and often the fly will work its way out. Got it. It doesn't always work, but this time it did. I gave it a couple more casts and then we moved on to the next run. There wasn't a lot of good water in this particular run, but you'll notice there's a soft patch just upstream from me behind a boulder. And that was me missing the fish that was sitting in it.
I just missed one. Yeah. Felt him, but the hook didn't stick. Saw a mayfly. Yep.
About time. I probably only missed about 50 mayflies already.
Go back to the 3mm bead because the fish seem to be feeding in the top anyway.
Now that was actually the right move in retrospect. I could have even gone further and put a little dropper with a soft hackle or something to fish the higher part of the water column. But hindsight's always 20/20.
Oh!
Notice that take took place on the downstream part of the drift when the fly was swinging back up towards the surface. That often seems to be the case when the fish start to get active and there's a hatch going on. They look for a fly that's ascending.
Oh, yep. There's one. Little brownie. Goes.
So you'll notice I'm starting to fish more down and across now, shifting my attention to trying to pick up fish on that swing. It's probably not something that's in the conventional Euro nymphing manual, but it's something that I do quite often. At certain times it can be very effective.
Yes! There he is. Oh, he's not a bad one. Oh, I dropped him. He was on the swing. He was a good one. On the swing. But yeah, I reckon dry dropper will work nice through all of that stuff. And there's fish in it. So I've had, you saw that one that I hooked then on the swing. That's, hey?
Where?
On the swing, down there. Yeah. It was a good fish too. Best one so far, probably £1.5, 2 pounds. Oh yeah, there's one. Little guy.
Hey, that's a 6 pounder.
Oh yeah, huge. Yep. There's another one. Oh. My fly broke off. Bugger. All right.
Once again, we found a nice patch of fish, back a little bit from the head of the pool, in the nice walking pace water with a little bit of depth. Even though they're actively feeding now, they're still not up in the fast stuff.
Oh, dropped one.
Fishing the swing with a Euro rig actually gives you a really nice straight line connection to the fly. It's a lot more direct than swinging with a fly line.
Oh, and another take on the swing.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. That's 3 on the swing now. So they're sitting up high.
The big drawback with fishing the swing, of course, is you get a lot of missed takes.
There's another mayfly. Yeah. Depends on the weight of the bead. I'm fishing a pretty light bead,
Yeah, right.
so you got to give it a bit to get it out there. Yeah. Missed another one on the swing then.
I've had this happen before, where you can fish through a section upstream and not get any takes, and then once you get upstream of the fish and the fly's drifting up towards the surface in front of them, they'll take it on the swing. Perhaps the fly's going underneath them and they're not seeing it. Or maybe it's just that it's the action of the fly rising towards the surface, like a rising nymph, that induces the take.
They're definitely looking up. Oh, that was a fish.
He was sitting in the little eddy just behind the boulder there, the only soft bit of water out of the main flow at the top of this run. But I didn't find any more action at the top of the pool, so I headed back down again for the softer water.
Yes! One on the swing.
I finally got one to stick again on the swing. The key with the hook set when you're swinging flies like this is not really to set the hook much at all. You essentially just let the fish hook itself. If you try to strike, you tend to just pull the fly out of the fish's mouth a lot of the time. And I reckon I've done that more than a few times today.
Nice little brownie. I can feel the water's cooling down now.
As the temperature starts to drop, I'd expect that the bite would slow down. But there's still a few fish around.
Yeah.
This little bit of water's been really productive again. It's surprising how many fish you can take out of a relatively small patch of water when there's large sections of the river that don't really seem to hold anything.
Flies out. There we go. Another little brownie. Let's just release him out of the net. There we go. Oh, bugger. Change back to a 3mm bead for this. I think the 3.5 is going to sink too fast. Have you guys seen John?
Yeah.
Has he gone upstream? Is he further up or is he still down there?
No, he's gone.
Oh, he's left, has he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got one of a new rod.
Oh, nice. Nymphing?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Any size? Nice. Another fish rising just over the other side there, if I can get a cast over to him. Don't know if it's quite far enough. Big guy. Stick.
There was a bit of a deep drop-off right in front of me off these rocks. Otherwise I probably would have waded in and tried to get a bit closer to the fish. But if you can't physically get close, then you can always cast long.
Yep. Little brownie. I think that's the guy I saw. There he goes. Oh, there's a fish. Long distance release. I'm just doing a bit of swinging down and across at the moment because I've been getting a lot of fish on the swing actually. So there's a nice little bit here that only really accessible this way, so I might as well give it a try.
Long distance casting with a Euro rig is not the easiest or most graceful way to go, but you can get it out there with a bit of effort. There's very little mass in a Euro line to be able to carry the weight of the fly, so it becomes increasingly harder the more line you get out.
Yep, there's a fish on the swing. Nice. Ah, dropped him. Alright. Well, that's almost me done for the day, guys. I might just go and fish this top run up here below the swing bridge, and then I'm back at the car.
I actually learn a lot by watching back the videos of my days sometimes. And one of the things that strikes me about this day is that after the hatch started, almost every fish that I caught was on the swing on a rising fly, whereas in the morning I'd taken them all nymphing conventionally. That's definitely something that I'll file away for future use.
Yeah, there's fish on the swing.
While there were no real monsters caught this day, I definitely felt like I learnt quite a bit. There was plenty to take away from it, and plenty of things that I can see looking back that I could have done better or differently. And a lot of the time, it's the learning that I actually enjoy most.
Nice. What a lovely little brown. There it goes. Well, that's quite a few fish on the swing today. They definitely seem to like sitting a little bit further back in the run today in this cooler water. They're not tending to be right up in the head of the runs.
Maybe next time I'll try an unweighted soft hackle on the top dropper and fish the higher part of the water column on the downstream drift as well. That'd be interesting.
They just seem to want the slightly slower, slightly deeper water.
Maybe the biggest takeaway for me though was that heading downstream in this cold weather to find that water that was just a couple of degrees warmer certainly seemed to make all of the difference compared to where we'd been fishing upstream. I'm definitely going to file that one away.